now, the views and opinions expressed during RealBlackTalk.com.
As First Lady, I am constantly blown away by the stories of courage and sacrifice that define our veterans and their families. I've met wounded warriors who have lost legs to an IED and then fought through recovery to run marathons. I've met veterans who have run into sniper fire and explosions to save their friends. Whenever our country has called, they've stepped up to serve. So when I hear that even one of our veterans is homeless, I'm not just heartbroken, I'm outraged. And I know that people all across this country feel the exact same way. That's why over the past few years, mayors, community leaders, government agencies, and local nonprofits have come together to get our veterans into housing quickly and permanently. Through the Mayor's Challenge to End Veteran Homelessness, cities like New Orleans, Houston, Mobile, Alabama, and Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, have effectively ended veterans' homelessness. And they've done this by ensuring that veterans not only have immediate access to housing, but also the support they need to stay in their homes for the long term. We all have a role to play in efforts like these, particularly landlords and property owners like all of you. You all have the power to open doors for our vets and give them the stability they deserve and help our country solve an issue that has been swept under the rug for far too long. And this isn't just the patriotic thing to do. It can also be the smart thing to do for your business. Through federal efforts like HUD-VASH vouchers or the Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, you're guaranteed regular rent payments and staff support along the way. Landlords in Seattle, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and elsewhere are seeing that they can do right by our veterans and their bottom lines. So we need your help. Please call your local mayor or housing office or your local VA to find out more about these vouchers and veterans programs, and help us ensure that all of our veterans will have a place to call home. Thanks so much. As First Lady, I am
Hello, and welcome to another episode of your Human Service News and Information. I'm Hassan Rashid, your host, and I'll be here with you for approximately 25 more minutes. And with that, I welcome you with the ancient cordial of peace, and that is peace. Welcome to another edition of your Human Service News and Information. It's excellent being here with you, and it's awful great achievement to come into your lives like we do here at CCTV. Okay, first I'd like to, before we get into subjects of our broadcast, I'd like to send out my condolences to 24-year-old Jamar Clark, a Minneapolis native who was fatally shot by the police over there. Another police shooting. And so I'd like to take this time to send out my condolences to his family, friends, and relatives, and all the young folks out there who may be targets of this type of atrocity. We're gonna talk more about the fatal shooting of Jamar Clark in a little while, but and also that opening video with the president's wife, Michelle Obama, and her urging of landlords to change their tone and take in homeless veterans. So she made a presentation recently on the subject of proposing to landlords to take in homeless veterans. So we're gonna try to get back to that video later, but right now I'd like to familiarize you with a few things that's happening right here at CCTV. The Neighbor Media people here at CCTV, that's neighbormedia.org, they want your attention. They want the attentions of members, and also all you out there in our listening audience, you're invited to produce a piece for Neighbor Media, okay? The Citizen Journalism Project of Cambridge Community Television is inviting all CCTV members to produce a Cambridge-related news video or article for neighbormedia.org. Is there Cambridge news and information you feel is going underreported in the mainstream media? Is there a Cambridge place or personality you'd like to profile? Is there a cause that you care about that you want Cambridge residents to learn more about? Know of a local hero you feel deserves the spotlight? Want Canterburyans to take action on matters important to you, interested or involved in Cambridge politics? So, once again, you're invited to produce a piece for Neighbor Media. So, if your answer is yes to any of those questions that I just presented to you, you are invited to call Frank at 617-401-4007 or via email at frank@cctvcambridge.org. Once again, that's frank@cctvcambridge.org to learn how you can submit your piece to Neighbor Media. So we're looking forward to your news. That's attention. So you can also inquire about, if you're not a member, you can also inquire about becoming a member of Neighbor Media. Once again, that's you can contact Frank at cctvcambridge.org. That's frankcctvcambridge.org. Okay. I got another little piece here about from CCTV. It's entitled "The Golden Age of Television," presented by CCTV's Media Training Program. Okay, so discussion-based course focus on this incredible moment in TV history. Students will analytically look at shows like Mad Men, House of Cards, Veep, and Orange is the New Black. Focus will also be placed on the recent changes to the television landscape, including the dominance of cable programming, the rise of Netflix, and what these developments may mean for the future of television. So this is a course that's coming up here at CCTV entitled "The New Golden Age of TV." And when? That's on a Wednesday, December 9th, 2015, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Instructor is Morris Smith. Prerequisite, none. Price $10 per person for anyone. So if you like additional information, you'd like to sign up, you can call 617-661-6900. That's a course coming up December 9th entitled "The New Golden Age of Television." So sign up with a friend, pay $10 for both of you. Okay, that's Mad Men. You can watch, look at shows like Mad Men, House of Cards, Veep, Orange is the New Black. So that's Wednesday, December 9th, 2015, 6 to 9 p.m. Okay, another thing, a little mind reminder, since it's a holiday season approaching, that's Thanksgiving, so if you're out there and you've just about done everything to prepare for the holiday season, well, there's one more thing to make all things equal, and that is the Cambridge Farmers Market. There's only 1 week left for the Cambridge Spring and Summer Farmers Market. So I'm gonna tell you where you can catch the farmers market for fresh produce and vegetables and etc. etc. You still have time to catch the one more week. That's Sunday, Charles Square Hotel Farmers Market. That's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the last day for that, for the summer, spring summer season, is November 22nd. That's next week. So the Central Square Farmers Market, that's right here in Central Square, you have one more day, and that's on November 23rd, 2015, noon to 6 p.m., and that's at Bishop Allen Drive in Norfolk. Okay, the Harvard University Farmers Market, you also have one more day, and that's November 24th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., and they're at Harvard Square Science Center Plaza, Oxford and Kirkland Street. So they accept EBT, which is the EBT is okay. That's EBT SNAP. That's a new name for the food stamp program. Okay, Wednesday they're all through at Cambridge Center Farmers Market. They're all through for the year, and so there's one more opportunity. That's on Friday, Charles Square Farmers Market, June 5th to November 20th. Okay, that's next week. That's June 20th. Okay, wait a minute. That's this weekend, June 20th. Okay, so you'll have one more day. That's the Charles Square Farmers Market. So if you want to round off all of your anticipation, your shopping list and everything, don't forget the farmers market. So there's not too much time left for that. Okay, I'd like to get back to this Jamar Clark execution, that's what they're calling it, it's an execution. Eyewitness says Minneapolis police fatally shot 24-year-old Jamar Clark execution style. Okay, so this past weekend, Minneapolis police fatally shot unarmed 24-year-old Jamar Clark in a scene all too similar to the police shooting of 18-year-old Mike Brown. Dozens of people saw the shooting unfold. Eyewitness says Jamar was handcuffed with his hand behind his back. Police shot him in the head, execution style. The entire event was likely caught on video by a nearby camera, but local officials are refusing to release the footage. Last night, police unjustly arrested more than 51 Black Lives Matter activists for demanding release of the video and justice for Jamar. Now it's time for us to help turn up the pressure to get Jamar families the answers that they deserve. So, okay, I'm gonna try to give you some contact information on how you can get involved in this thing. And let's see. Well, you can. Well, I don't have that address either. They say here you can contact your local NAACP Black Lives Matters and inquire about the shooting of Jamar Clark, the fatal shooting of Jamar Clark, 24-year-old Jamar Clark, and my condolences go out to his family, friends, relatives, loved ones, etc., etc., okay? And since we're on the subject of Black Lives Matters, come meet who in Black Lives Matters Cambridge. Have you recently found yourself asking, what does Black Lives Matter? What can I do about it? How can I find out more? If so, join the folks, Cambridge Black Lives Matter movement, to hear about the organizing the Black Lives Matters Cambridge chapter is taking on, and how white people can support the fight to create a Cambridge and beyond where Black lives truly matter. That's a seasonal treat, signed copies of local writers Debbie Irving, Waking Up White, Finding Myself in the Story of Race, and Black Lives Matter signs, buttons, shirts, proceeds, and donations will go directly to the Black Lives Matter Cambridge. So when does all this transpire? Well, it's on a Saturday. That's November 14th, 4 to 6 p.m. Where? That's St. Angie's Home, 182 Lakeview Avenue. So you can RSVP to stong.betsey@comcast.net. So come meet who's who in Black Lives Matter Cambridge. That's November 4th, 4 to 6 p.m. Where St. Angie's Home, 182 Lakeview Avenue. That's Cambridge right here. Okay, I got another interesting article here. There's a author that's an award-winning author, Jacqueline Woodson. Okay, she'll be in town. She'll be in town on November 18th. That's Cambridge Reads 2015 presents award-winning author Jacqueline Woodson. That's November 8th at the Cambridge Public Library, and it has chosen award-winning Brown Girl Dreaming as its 2015 Cambridge Reads selection, and will host its author Jacqueline Woodson on Wednesday. As a matter of fact, that is tonight at 7 p.m. at CRL, Cambridge Wren Latin School, Fitzgerald's Theater. That's 459 Broadway. Since this venue seats about approximately 550 people, tickets will not be issued. Instead, it will be first come, first serve, first serve for seating. The author will be signing after the event. So if you want to get in to see a prize present or award-winning author Jacqueline Woodson, you better get over to the Cambridge Wren Latin School's Fitzgerald Theater early. That's they're starting at 7 p.m. So they're letting folks in on first come, first serve basis. So if you want to see this great author, you get on over there and before 7 o'clock today. Okay, I'm Hassan Rashid, and this is your Human Service News and Information. Governor Charlie Baker highlights ongoing changes to Department of Children and Families policy. Okay, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker on Tuesday laid out new training protocols and streamlined policies at the State Department of Children and Families, an agency that came under the fire early this year after the death of a 2-year-old Auburn 2-year-old in Auburn and the alleged abuse of other children. Okay, so all those stories are heartbreaking for everybody who was involved and followed them, Baker said, but they would have some common threads to them. The two biggest common threads were mistakes or missed opportunities with how the department investigated reports of abuse or neglect, according to Baker. There hasn't been a full update to department intake policies in decades, Baker said. We think it's about time. The new policies outlined in Tuesdays eliminate a two-track system for abuse and neglect reports and require non-emergency abuse and neglect reports to be reviewed and screened in or out in 1 business day. Down from 3 days, emergency reports still require an immediate decision and investigatory response with 2 hours. The new policies also require criminal offenders and sexual offenders record checks of parents and caregivers, as well as household members over 15 years old. Okay, Massachusetts Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito joins White House conference call on refugee admission. Okay, the call came a day after Governor Charlie Baker said he was not interested in allowing Syrian refugees into Massachusetts until he knew a lot more about the administration's vetting process. The administration looks forward to a continuing dialogue with the federal government that addresses the bipartisan desires of state and federal lawmakers for a thorough and accurate refugee background check process, ensuring the safety and security of the Commonwealth, said Baker's spokeswoman Liz Gutton. Okay, the White House held the call with the bipartisan group of 34 governors to provide information about existing refugee admissions policy and security screening measures, according to the White House. Okay, so I don't know, they're still up in the air about allowing Syrian refugees into Massachusetts. Okay, State Senator Don Humason named Provider Council 2015 Legislator of the Year. The Massachusetts Council on Human Service Providers Incorporated has named State Senator Don Humason, Republican Westville, its 2015 Legislator of the Year. The council, which is the largest state membership association for community-based social education, rehabilitation, healthcare services, presented Humason with the award during its annual convention and expo. The Legislator of the Year award recognized individuals and organizations for their contributions and accomplishments in the human service sector. Humason thanked Human Resource Unlimited and Forum House for nominating him for the award, saying, "It's been a privilege to work alongside the organizations." Okay, here's one. Here's another local item out of Boston, and this is a big one too. This is a big one for the whole region. Okay, MBT considers price increases, other changes for disability services. Activists are urging the T to keep prices stable before MBTA leaders begin a scheduled discussion about the finances of its paratransit service. The ride, several of its users stood before them Monday to urge them to keep prices stable and all existing services in place. Ann Stewart, a 90-year-old member of the Massachusetts Senior Council, said she supports some potential cost-saving options for the ride during the public comment period at the State of the T's official and Management Control Board meeting. Okay, so it's up in the air too about price increases and less services for the region's residents. So we got to keep our eye on that one and see what happens. Okay, we don't want to be paying for more than we can afford. Okay, to ride the transportation system. Judge rules Boston police exam discriminating against minorities. Okay, once again, it's a judge rules Boston police exam discriminating against minorities. A federal judge ruled on Monday that a promotional exam for Boston police lieutenants was discriminatory. A federal judge ruled Monday that the city of Boston discriminated against minorities by using a 2008 promotional exam to select police lieutenants that was slanted in favor of white candidates. Okay, in an 82-page opinion, U.S. District Judge William J. Young wrote, "This is a profoundly important case, one that evokes the finest of our nation's aspirations to give everyone equal opportunity and a fair shot. Boston Police promoted 33 sergeants to the rank of lieutenant, including 5 blacks over the last 6 years based on their scores on the 2008 civil service exam. Young concluded that the written portion of the exam had a racially desperate impact and that the multiple choice questions were not sufficiently job related." So desperate impact, that means it was discriminatory towards black people, okay? Black police officers, okay? Congress passes budget for 2016-2017. Lawmakers must now develop specific funding, okay? Federal lawmakers must ensure the budget helps advance civil rights, protections, and defend the most vulnerable Americans, okay? A nation's budget is perhaps the best reflection of its priorities, moral values, and the needs of its citizens. Our country, for all of its assets and riches, is facing some very real problems. No community is free from challenges, including hunger, homelessness, unemployment, substandard public education, crime, a crumbling infrastructure, and home foreclosure. Furthermore, there can be little debate that racial and ethnic minority Americans tend to be desperately affected by these challenges more than any other group. For the federal government, official year begins every October on the 1st of October. On September 30th, 2015, with just hours to spare, Congress passed a continuing resolution funding the government for an additional 6 weeks, thereby avoiding a shutdown of federal services. On October 30th, 2015, Congress passed a comprehensive budget which gives overall federal spending for the next 2 years. The challenge currently facing Congress and the President is to enact legislation by December 11, dictating how much to spend on specific projects, programs, and departments. The NAACP has long urged Congress to develop spending bills which will make the challenge faced by our nation an area including job creation for new and desperate workers, economic rehabilitation, development, tax fairness for individuals, corporations, programs, and safety nets for low, middle income people, including seniors, children, the ill, and disabled, and ensuring that the nation criminal justice laws are implemented fairly and the civil rights of all Americans are protected. We have also urged Congress to reject any policy riders which reflect the views of some of the more extreme members of Congress and would override established policies which has been deliberated and carefully developed by the administration, in some cases confirmed by the U.S. Supreme Court. Specifically, we oppose riders including those which would gut environmental laws which eliminate consumer protection or alter the structure of the ability of the Consumer Financial Protection Board to do its work, which strike fair housing regulations, or which defund health care providers which predominantly provide services to low and moderate income. So if you're listening and you're tuned to what's going on, I advise you to contact your elected officials and you give your input on how Congress, the government should spend this money, okay? All right. Okay, that's just about almost it. I got one more item to share with you, if I can get to it, okay? If I can get so tolerate me for a little while here, so I find this article. Well, I can't locate it, but I'd like to get back to what we started the broadcast out with, and that is Jamar Clark. He was shot fatally by the police execution style, right in the head. 24-year-old Jamar Clark, another police case of police shooting unarmed black person, especially a young black person. So I send out, once again, my condolences to his family, friends, relatives, and loved ones. And I don't want you to forget now, tonight, 7 o'clock at the Cambridge Rand Latin School's Fitzgerald Theater, there is award-winning author, Jacqueline Woodson. And you're advised to be there early. And the show, it starts, her presentation starts at 7, but they're only admitting people on first come, first served basis. So I advise you to get over there and listen to author Jacqueline Clark. I'm Hassan Rashid, and I always say that you keep your nose clean, play it straight, and don't forget to
Constantly blown away by the stories of courage and sacrifice that define our veterans and their families. I've met wounded warriors who have lost legs to an IED and then fought through recovery to run marathons. I've met veterans who have run into sniper fire and explosions to save their friends. Whenever our country has called, they've stepped up to serve. So when I hear that even one of our veterans is homeless, I'm not just heartbroken, I'm outraged. And I know that people all across this country feel the exact same way. That's why over the past few years, mayors, community leaders, government agencies, and local nonprofits have come together to get our veterans into housing quickly and permanently. Through the Mayor's Challenge to End Veteran Homelessness, cities like New Orleans, Houston, Mobile, Alabama, and Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, have effectively ended veterans' homelessness. And they've done this by ensuring that veterans not only have immediate access to housing, but also the support they need to stay in their homes for the long term. We all have a role to play in efforts like these, particularly landlords and property owners like all of you. You all have the power to open doors for our vets and give them the stability they deserve and help our country solve an issue that has been swept under the rug for far too long.